want to move on to another question from one of my clients. How can quantum healing and the work you do affect and intersect with other parts of our lives? Can it open up other stuck areas of our lives, careers? Great question. So there's a lot to this. So quantum healing, that's the general category that I put my work under. And what it means, quantum healing, is that when I work with somebody, I'm working with them in a way to get their body to reactivate and do what they're asking their body to do. So I'm working with your body to realign it in a way that it becomes, it moves back to a place of homeostasis where it can take care of ourselves. I come from the belief that all of our bodies are designed to heal themselves, are designed to keep us healthy, and that there are beliefs, there are fears, there are physical stuff that actually cause us to be unhealthy. And sometimes we're born with some genetic patterns that we're predisposed to that. So from putting aside some of those things that we may be born with some sort of something that's some part of our body that's not working right from the get-go. Sometimes those things can be healed, sometimes not. But in general, we're talking about in general, especially if you go from a place where your body's generally seems to be healthy, and then you're starting to see some decline, then there's something going on with that, and there's something that's creating that. So how do you get your body back to the place of homeostasis where it's healing itself? And in general, that's quantum healing, and that's what I'm looking for. So when I'm working on somebody, I'm working with that part of your body that knows how to heal itself, that part of your body that is designed to keep that running. So I'm looking at how do I communicate to that part of your body to reactivate it, to let it know that no, this is not what you're wanting. You're wanting your health, and you're wanting well-being, and etc. So not only am I communicating with that part of your body to get it to reactivate and to do what it was designed to do, but I'm looking for what's in the way of that not happening. So what's causing it to not respond in the way? What's blocking it? So is there an emotional block? Is there a spiritual block? Is there some physical thing like mold or fungus or virus or heavy metal toxification in your system? So what's in the way of that? So I'm working with that part of your body to address those things, but I'm also helping to address those as well, and seeing how we can reverse some of the damage much quicker that's been done, so that your body, as we realign your body, that it can then keep it in that place of homeostasis. Now, to go to the question, that's kind of quantum healing in general. To go to the deeper part of the question, how can quantum healing and the work you do affect and intersect with other parts of our lives? It intersects with all parts of your life. So if I'm working on healing you from migraines, for example, often I'm going to run across some emotional or spiritual energy that's also contributing to that. So as I work on healing your body from that migraine, or whatever the core cause, I'm looking whatever the core cause of that migraine. So let's just talk physical first. So on physical, I'm looking at whatever the core cause, and then the core cause of that migraine may also be causing other things. So as I work with your body to heal that core cause, let's just say that core cause was viral in nature, like Epstein-Barr virus or mono, or you something like that. As I'm working on healing, helping your body to heal that deeper core issue, then you often will start to notice your migraines getting less and less. and eventually going away. But often there's a lot of co-symptoms that go along with that. So those co-symptoms will start to heal as well. You may start to notice more energy. You may start to notice more clarity of your brain. You may start to notice, whatever other symptoms you have. So if what I'm working on a physical nature, the deeper core of that is actually connected to many other symptoms, then yes, it's going to intersect with many other parts of your lives on a physical nature. Now let's switch to emotional. So there may be, when I'm working on that core pattern, that core physical pattern, often there's some emotional patterns that will come up that are in the way of your body really healing itself and healing itself at a much faster rate. So I will work on those emotional patterns. So one of those emotional patterns could be, for example, some fear you had as a child about, wasn't safe to speak up. When you tried to speak up, your parents told you, be quiet, or, they put you down, or somebody put you down. And so you learned that it wasn't safe to speak up, and it was better for you to be quiet. So if that's connected in some way to the physical condition that's going on, then as I work on that and as I help release that old emotional pattern, and understand, I may not know what the original story was behind that pattern. I just know that when an emotional pattern shows up as I'm working on somebody on a physical condition, then that's connected. That's how I know it's connected, because it's in the way of the physical healing. And you've given me permission to help release that. So I will work on actually releasing that emotional pattern from your body in a way that begins to release that. Now, how does that affect your life? That alone can affect your life. You may notice physically your throat starting to open up, and you may notice your voice actually becoming more clear, or more resonation to your voice where maybe that wasn't. You also may notice that you're speaking up for yourself in different areas, or you're able to say how you feel to your partner in ways that you weren't able to do that. So it absolutely will affect a lot of ways. Often people will feel more hopeful, or more grounded, or happier as a result. So just working on that one physical condition, because I'm looking at whatever emotional condition may be related, as those layers lift, you're going to start to notice things in the rest of your life. Now, let's go to the spiritual level. Now, the spiritual level is kind of an emotional spiritual for me, because from a spiritual level, that may be emotional patterns that you've brought through with you from a past life, or whatever your belief is that has come through with you. So from a spiritual place, it also may be a fear of owning your own spirituality, or a fear of owning your own intuition, or empathic abilities, or psychic abilities, or whatever the term is that you want to use, or healing abilities. So those are fears or beliefs that are also emotions, but maybe they're more connected on a spiritual level. So again, it's kind of the same thing as the emotional. When I see those patterns, then I'm going to work on those and help release those. It's just that you may notice different things. You may notice yourself being more grounded. You may notice yourself having more clarity in your spiritual awareness. You may notice that your intuition is stronger. You may notice your empathic abilities are stronger, or you're getting less and less affected by the world, that you're able to tune into your own feelings without being affected by everybody else around you. So those are just some of the ways that this work can affect you on a much grander scale. So when somebody comes to me for physical healing, it's rarely that's all that happens. In fact, almost every time, I don't even have a an example of when I didn't do some emotional healing with somebody or spiritual healing with somebody when they came to me just for a physical condition. And that's after doing somewhere between 20 or 30,000 treatments in my career. I don't think I've run into anybody who doesn't have some emotional or spiritual problems that are connected to the physical. Now, does that mean that caused the physical? Now we're getting into a whole new area. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I think both. I think it can be either one. It can be either situation. Emotion, old fears and beliefs absolutely can, over time, usually decades, begin to eat away to such a degree that they cause physical things. So a fear can cause anxiety, and anxiety can actually cause, let's just use a simple example, can cause stomach upset, and eventually enough of that can cause digestive issues. So the emotional can be the precursor to the physical condition. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes that physical condition may be as a result of you lived in a moldy house, and now you're dealing with your mold issues, and some old emotional issues may exacerbate that. They may connect in with that, but they weren't necessarily the cause of that. So when I'm working on helping somebody deal with mold issues, then when an emotional issue comes up, it's still important for me to work on that. It's still important for me to help release that that pattern, because it's blocking in some way your body healing yourself. So again, it comes back to getting your body to a place of homeostasis, which is your body healing itself, and what's in the way of that. What has stopped that from actually doing its job? So why is your body being affected by that mold? Why didn't it address it in a way that you're not being affected? And that's again a bigger question. Sometimes our body should be able to handle it, and then sometimes there's just too much. It's just over and over and over again, or years of it of being in it, that eventually just breaks down. Eventually that is just too much for our body. So our body may have been able to handle it for a while, and we've just overloaded it for too many years, and too much intensity of whatever we exposed ourselves to. And that could be toxicity in our food. That could be heavy metal because we ate a lot of fish over the years that maybe had some mercury in it, and so we're adding that to our system. I mean, we could be living in a very, very polluted environment, a very polluted city, that can slowly break the body down as well. So there's a lot of things that the body can handle on a short term, and is able to mitigate the issue and heal itself. But over the long term, it begins to break down, which is probably why majority of my clients are adults, and have had things happen for a much longer period of time, and have gotten to the place where they're looking for any help out there. And then sometimes I'm the okay, I've tried everything else, I'll try this guy, I'll try this, let's see if this will work. So there's I have many clients that may not have believed in the work I do, or don't believe in the work, are not really sure about it, but they're desperate. And they've tried everything else. Doctors haven't helped them. Other practitioners haven't helped them, and so they're trying to save their lives. And so when they come to me, and if I see that I can help them, then and they do, then all of a sudden they're believers.